A very good morning to everybody, to our Learn in India curtain raiser. My name is Milind Kher. I am the CEO of HQ, which is a learning and development company which uses behavior assessments on the extended disk platform as its flagship product. I am myself an emotional intelligence coach. I use emotional intelligence for leveraging various competencies. Mainly, I work as a wellness evangelist in the healthcare sector, and I also work on the applied aspects of emotional intelligence, essentially leadership, sales, and customer relations. I work with the human mind and human relations to enable personal and professional excellence. So that is all about me. I'm now going to hand over to Dr. Jyoti Vora. Dr. Jyoti Vora and Dr. Vasudha will be taking you all through this entire thing in their own respective roles. And then a quick introduction to both of them before I hand over to Dr. Jyoti. Dr. Jyoti Vora is a food scientist with a huge student following and who has international certificates from places as varied as Paris, Australia, Amsterdam, and US. However, I'm not going to spend more time introducing her. I think she will be able to best do justice to herself. And Dr. Vasudha is an ICF certified life coach, and she's a principal of Rockwoods International, and she has had the distinction of personally conversing with Sadhguru and getting a lot of eminent wisdom from him. And so that's that. Now I'll hand it over to Dr. Jyoti Vora for the further proceedings.
Atma Namaste to all of you, especially the Lead in India team, ably gravitated by our most respected Milind Kher sir, and all my family members, teammates who are in this ethos together. I'm going to be on this platform several times. So I am going to spend this opening time talking about our endeavor rather than myself. When Vasudha ji introduces me, then when I come onto the platform, that will be me, Dr. Jyoti Vora. But at this moment, I am a very, very privileged member of Learn in India. You see, if we go back to Vedic times, and I am going to add here that I am a researcher, I'm a doctoral guide, and I'm an author too. And my interest is in food and in our country because I come from a defense family. Having said that, I would like to say that ancient India has presented to the world something which is being revisited even now. We are more and more proud every minute as to how our country is moving towards what today people smilingly, and they were, detractors, smilingly say it's new era India. And therefore, what was the USP of ancient India? It was none other than the sustainable knowledge and wisdom which we presented to the world and which our ancestors left behind as a legacy. Our Honorable Prime Minister, whom I am a huge, huge admirer of, Prime Minister Modi said, he presented what is called Make in India. And from that, learning leaders, and that's what I call Milind sir. Over the years, when I have been associated with him, I have observed this gentleman as someone who, always thinks outside the box. And he said, why don't we together get into something called Learn in India? Because like we say in Sanskrit, Vidya Sarvocha Dhanam, Vidya Sarvocha Bhushanam. If there's any jewel and if there is any wealth, it's none other than wisdom. And therefore, we connected to like-minded people, beautiful people who are now all my friends across the virtual world. Anjali ji, uh, Aarti ji, Saili, of course, Milind sir, and definitely all the others who are connected, not at all forgetting Vasudha ji. So what I want to say about this event is, we are facets of a huge circle, and mathematically it's not additive but exponential. Our skill sets are so different because God gave us the opportunity to connect to people, to learn on the way, and we are united by this passion for teaching, learning. And therefore senior people like Anandji Patil are also here, and Dipesh ji are also here. And I admire that you've given us time to connect to you so that you can carry this curtain raisers ethos in a better manner. Now, what is this event about? In this curtain raiser, we are all going to get our opportunity to say and express, and everyone's so passionate, like they'll be just kind of, being enthused about what exactly is the area of training that they do. And logistics and, of course, the professionalism aside, we are united by the common ethos of learn in India. Because, like Milind sir said this morning, सीखेगा India तो रहेगा India, और India तो रहने वाला है. And therefore, I also added some little Marathi where I said, वाचाल तो वाचाल. If you read, if you study, if you imbibe, you are going to survive. So before handing over to Madam Vasudha, I'm going to give you one of those little promos of the films, the way they come out. What is everyone about? If we talk about Anjali ji, very charming personality on the phone, on the virtual media, and at least the pandemic has taught us one thing: technology unites us. We could be sitting together at Viviana Cafe, and Milind sir, I have a complaint to you. Please have these meets a little closer to Lokanwala so that I can come down. It always becomes a bit difficult, to come all the way. So he has already promised that some meets will be our side of town. And Mumbai Meri Jaan has many, many such venues where we connect. Absolutely. So Anjali ji is an entrepreneurship coach. And please notice, none of us are teachers because we are learners. We are trainers where we are training ourselves as well. So she is a biohacker, and she is an entrepreneurship-oriented concept. In the case of our arguably youngest member, though we all are young at heart, my beloved Saili, I love your whole ethos, finding yourself again. Rediscovery is biochemically, and I'm a biochemist, biochemically also a very important area of growth and learning. So she's in that space. She has called it finding purpose again. She connects to single mothers, and she is a very, very idealistic person. So Saili, we are proud of you, and you know how it is. Concerning Aarti ji, she is a relationship coach, and the biggest certificate her daughter gave her by topping at ICT. She has been the ideal mother. She bonds people from one to the other. Her three-dimensional profile always connects people, and she's going to present these values. You see, all of us here, we are talking of areas which no syllabus and no university covers. But it is our collective aim to make better human beings, and in that we will also get evolved. So that is how this whole concept goes. And in the case of second last but not the least, Vasudha ji, beautiful name, even more beautiful personality, very senior person, educationist, and always getting her students, her colleagues to move further because she's the principal of her institute. So we are very happy to have her as well. and the lone man, but the best man in our team, Milinji, who is the catalyst, and we are ever grateful to you, Milinji. And my personal thank you. मैं अपने बारे में नहीं बात करूंगी, जब मैं दोबारा आऊंगी वसुधा जी बुलाएंगी तो थोड़ा सा अपने बारे में कह दूंगी, बट इस मौके पे मैं कहना चाहती हूँ कि मैं यहाँ हूँ, आपने मुझे अपने साथ जोड़ लिया, वही मेरी बहुत बड़ी wish भी थी. It's part of my wish list. Thank you so much. The curtain raiser is going to be the preamble to something great, and I hand over this beautiful program to Dr. Vasudha ji. She will introduce each speaker, and then the speaker will talk about what are the training verticals that we are going to present. And then I'll give the chance to Milind sir to give his observations, and then it'll be my pleasure to wind up this program. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Dr. Vasudha ji, please.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone. And of course, a big gratitude to Milind here. Milind and I are classmates. We did our training of ICF MML training together, and I think we made beautiful friendships there. Shilpi is also here. And there is some connection, I would say, some cosmic connection, and we just clicked the first day because ethos about he's a very positive person. I am a positive person too. He is doing a lot in the field of education, but I think I am a born educationist. I belong to a family of academicians. So from the day one, I think since I was 8 years old, I always wanted to be a teacher. So when in some, the coaching programs and things like that, when I was not, the coaching was not a word for me at that time. And somebody asked me, okay, tell me, if you were not a teacher, what you would be. I said, no, I would always have been a teacher, because the coach was trying to tell me that if not a teacher, how people are unhappy in the profession and things like that. So I learned and Milind knows about it. So I learned one thing from my father: whatever you do 100% or don't do it at all. So I always wanted to be a teacher. I'm very proud to be a teacher. Once a teacher, always a teacher, and always a lifelong learner, because I just love to grasp knowledge from wherever I can. So first I will call myself, I started my journey as a special educator, because there were two special educators in my family. My both Mossis were special educators, and they used to work with children with hearing impairment. And they asked me, what do you want to do? I said, no, I don't want to. I don't like your sign language. I don't want to do that. I would work differently. So at that time, I started my career as a special educator, being a volunteer, working with mentally challenged, then slow learners, then autistic, and it grew in the journey. And yes, that special educator in me, that psychologist in me has never died, because I'm very, very compassionate towards my children. I mean, for me, whatever we are doing for the generation, for the children, coming generation. And when Milind spoke to me about this Learn in India initiative, and I was very, very excited about it, because I feel that all of us have something special in us. All of us have been, as Jyoti ji said, we are all learners and teachers at the same time. And I strongly feel in the world of today, we need to teach our children to be globally tolerant, irrespective of the religion, irrespective. And a very, very beautiful beautiful anecdote Milind and I were talking about day before yesterday, and he was talking about some book where they said that religion was a matter of parameters, something in ancient times. Now things have changed, but we at certain, sadly, we are still stuck to that. I will take you just back to 2-3 days ago, 28 June, because I was in I work in Udaipur. Beautiful, peaceful city. And we were just going out for a dinner because my vice principal's birthday was there, and we had planned a dinner for her, and we were going. All of a sudden, I get the news that, there was a tailor who was murdered brutally, and it was because of some religious sentiment being hurt and all that. And there was a curfew, there was everything all over the place. And we came to know there were a lot of sleeping cells being in Udaipur. That was the greatest shock of our lives. Internet was shut, and we still, so where are we heading? And to be honest, my heart bleeds when, and it honestly bleeds, because when I see that, children, talking about these things, that whether Nupur Sharma was right, whether Nupur Sharma was wrong, why did that happen, and religious. So I tell them, think above your religion. We have to, and as educators, as teachers, as principal, as we have to be very, very careful what are we talking. So I think so in the morning, I'm in Gurgaon for some personal work. So in the morning only I got time, and I wrote something where I would, so Milind, I would want to say that Learn in India is something I gave a tagline to it, Learn in India, back to roots. Because why I say that, it is, of course, it is a brainchild of Milind, because Milind is one who was catalyst, and he involved Dr. Jyoti and me together. So of course, it will always be his initiative and his brainchild. So Learn in India has been created to promote the real-time learning with all innovative and modern pedagogies. And I picked up a line of what Jyoti ji wrote, but in sync with our own culture and heritage, and creating lifelong learners. Indian education. We talk about all the modern pedagogies of the world, all the innovations of the world, but Indian education is very, very strong and rich. So Indian education has a rich and interesting history. In ancient times, from the education being imparted orally through the sages, then when writing came into the form, then our scriptures being written, everything, so that we could have a strong and good Indian literature. And then the temples or the ashrams and the Gurukul system came into the place. Gurukuls, the teachers, Guru imparted the various aspects of religion, scriptures, astrology, history, literature, warfare, statecraft, medicines, and this was referred to the most oldest and effective way of education. Now, during the first millennium and few centuries preceding, the country flourished with the oldest universities, Nalanda, Takshila, Ujjain, Vikravasil, many others. We talk about innovative education, liberal arts, medicine, all these things now, but at that time they were prevalent. Art, architecture, painting, logic, grammar, philosophies, astronomy, literature, religion, Arthashastra, law, medicine, each university specialized. Takshila for medicine mainly, Ujjain astronomy, Nalanda being the largest and had all branches of knowledge for having more than 10,000 students. The present education system of ours, national boards, state boards, were founded and introduced by Britishers in 20th century by the recommendation of Maclay, with lot of rote learning, writing down the things, memorizing the thing, acquisition of knowledge, and somewhere the implementation and application of knowledge was left little behind. So it's also said, and I read it somewhere, Gandhiji described as Indian education the most beautiful and strong tree, but it was little tarnished during the British rule because they wanted their own system to come into the place. So now what we talk about, experiential learning, transdisciplinary, cross-curricular linkages, project-based learning, I think we did it all in the ancient times. So it won't be an exaggeration to state that Learning India will be back to roots initiative 2 with respect to Indian education system. And we are really, really blessed to have Dr. Jyoti Vora, Milind, Anjali, Saili, Miss Aarti, and of course, I would mention someone who's quietly sitting, but who is the pillar for Milind, Miss Gauri Kher, his best half, who's been, guiding her from guiding him from starting creating the Zoom link, to have the recording on, to have everything. So yes, that's the thing. So I will start introducing. I have written the introductions. And to Milind and Jyoti ma'am, I will come later. But yes, I will introduce, it would not be right on my part to introduce Milind and Jyoti ji first. So of course, Milind is the powerhouse, the lighthouse for most of us. And he is a one-man person, when during our course time, all 21 of us would, just pick up the phone and call him, whether it was a personal struggle, whether it was a professional struggle. And I think being an EI coach explains it all. Emotional intelligence is very, very important and significant to all of us. Talk about NLP, talk about EI, and above that, he's a beautiful human being. So, but strange, Milind, I will come to that question. He started his career in Camlin in 1986. Then he worked in ITC. From the journey of pharmaceutical to food, now to EI, we would love, and HR. So we would love to know his journey and see. Of course, HR and EI are very, very close. Like I strongly feel that when you are dealing with human minds, so emotional intelligence, being positivity, and all these play very, very important role. But a very, very remarkable journey. And also he did some rural redistribution depots where he brought the trading marketing systems from people development. He played a pivotal role in establishing foods in key cities in Western region. Was a part of the thrust to make Ashirwad the state #1 staple in India, established high volumes across food categories. Then 7 years from 2004 to 2011, he worked as head buying operations and then GM HR retail division. He was handled end-to-end recruitment and training for the staff. So now he is responsible for all now present from 2014 till date, very diverse and career, because if you will see mine, it would be just education. So every time it is increasing. So from, being a special educator to a mainstream teacher, to a principal, now to a career coach, to a life coach, but everything is in the state of education. But Milind has, of course, a very, very diverse field. So he is responsible for all the program design, corporate communication, strategic planning, and acquired a series of certification, extended DISC, emotional intelligence, NLP, ICF life coaching. Then he has carried out trainings and other than programs on NLP driven skills, thinking hats, negotiation skills, leadership, and I know he is part of the MML faculty also. So we are very fortunate and blessed to have you, Milind, as our catalyst and as a leader who will be leading us. And of course, we will contribute to that. And I will, okay, Milind, before, the flow will break. So how is your journey so far? I was thinking I will talk to you at the end, but I'm just so mesmerized to ask you this question.
Okay, so the journey has been all of what you have described it. So it essentially, if I see a common denominator, it is people. So whether one is talking of pharmaceuticals, one is talking of FMCG, one is talking of jewelry, one is talking of education, everything revolves around people, and that is the reason why I have chosen emotional intelligence as my specialization, and therefore a life coach. And I think that that is the way to go. And I feel very, very much in touch with the millennials. See, the millennials always talk about autonomy and work satisfaction. And for me also, those are the two drivers. It's autonomy and work satisfaction. So, and essentially, I want to see everybody around me progress. I want to see everybody around me prosper, because I believe that in others' happiness lies our own happiness. So that's it. I'm a person of few words. Yeah.
Thank you, Milind. Thank you. Now I go on to Dr. Jyoti Bora. When I read her profile, then I came to know that she is a biochemistry and food science expert, because I always thought, seeing her post in Vikasat Bharat, that she is an historian. So sorry about that.
No, it's a privilege. Thank you so much.
I was really surprised. I thought, okay, must be, historian, history. And because she has a very, very sound knowledge on Indian culture, Indian history, and she is doing a lot of, she's contributing a lot towards the Vikasat Bharat. So sorry, ma'am, I will have to just little bit edit this thing, because it is a 3-page long
No, please don't worry.
thing. So, and of course, it talks about her career journey. It talks about her, so she is MSc, PhD, and FSSC, MAS, FFBC, CME, US, net cleared nutritional consultant at Raleigh Medical Center, North Carolina, certified functional food scientist, and Functional Food Center, USA. And it's a proud moment to share that she's only such professional in India. She has membership of lot of professional bodies, such as Indian Science Congress Association, Nutritional Society of India, Indian Dietetics Society, International Society for Nutraceuticals, Nutritionals and Naturals. She is a full voting life member of UN's Organization of Women in Science from Developing Countries, and a member of Academic Society of Functional Foods and Bioactive Compounds, a member of Zoological Society in India. She is right now as Associate Professor, Head of Department, Superannuated and Consultant in Biochemistry and Food Science and Quality Control, Doctoral Research Guide for 2 universities with teaching and training, with experience of more than 33 years. So, ma'am, my question to you will be that, how did Learn in India fascinate you, and how do you plan to contribute, and how has been your journey so far?
Thank you, Vasudha ji. As I said, just 2-line introduction you could have given of me. I am a privileged member of Learn in India. And like you, I am a very potent mixture of a defense professional and a professor of English literature. My mother was a professor of English literature. And therefore, I grew up with books. I laughingly say, मेरे घर कभी ED आया तो सिर्फ किताबें मिलेंगी, because we are surrounded by books. My husband is also an academician, and we've grown up in that manner. Naturally, like all of us here, I'm driven by this absolute requirement to recognize that there is a lot of education beyond books, which is never taught to us in syllabi, unfortunately. No one teaches us how to be better people. No one teaches us how to be emotionally well oriented. And wow, no one teaches us how to be well fed, because the mind and the body go together. Like you correctly said, I am a core biochemist. So my contribution to learn in India would be, uh, you know, a mixture of all this. What has driven me? Because in the memory of my father, Air Commodore Ranganath Naik was decorated in the Bangladesh War. I regularly train soldiers. You'll be happy to know. And when I do that, I recognize that when they are there, we are here happily working out. And how disturbed you were at the Udaipur episode, as all of us were, but you were in the epicenter of it. So, for good values to be inducted in you, you have to have a very good connection with ancient practice of food preparation, growth, cultivation, assimilation, and so on. And my contribution would be what I did for my students all those 3 decades. We had a lot of out of the box, activities, and I'm from IIT Powai. So I'll just give you a simple point that we had an IDC. It's the Industrial Design Center. Like we used to laugh and say, and you've also defended a PhD ki PhD में pagal moments भी आ जाते हैं, where you feel you're never going to complete. And when you are that stressed out, what are you going to do? And I was very clear that our supervisor, our guide used to be called supervisor, and mine was Professor H.H. Mathur, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar award-winning scientist. I'm very proud of him. And he just used to send us to this IDC center and say, go and do some pottery, go and do some drawing, go and listen to music, maybe do a little dance, and come back sorted out. So if you have to sort out your mind, your biochemistry has to be perfect. So my contribution to learn in India would be fivefold. The first would be a maintenance of work-life balance through a correct and wonderful diet. And here I'm very proud to say that I can connect to all of you. You'll never have good relationships if you have a bad diet. You will never be emotionally sorted out if you are hungry. When you're hungry, you're angry. That is our saying in biochemistry. You are never going to find yourself silently if you are, malnourished. And today's approach has to be a good work-life balance post-pandemic. You see, I am a CEO of my own company, which is Birang Consultants. And the company gravitates towards training people to understand this whole concept of approach through food. So my first point would be through the diet, how you achieve a very good balance. Then you go a little ahead and understand that in today's world, the most valuable thing is not money, it's time. And therefore, chronobiology is what I'm going to connect people to. How do you manage your day? How do you get on top of your time? How do you come out a winner? And those kind of things which we always write down. Even Vasudha ma'am has come in with a notebook. So have I. We are teachers first and last. And we love our books. So how do you plan for things? Good, Sally. But how do you plan for things? And how do you work it out from that? So I've been doing chronobiology workshops for Air India as well. And you'll be happy to know, with the jet lag and so on, health issues are very bad because of this horrible gadget. We cannot do without it. And you know what it is, the phone. And we work through the night. We are against the circadian rhythm. So I'm going to be talking about chronobiology. The third most important thing is My biggest compliment today, and Vasudha ji, thank you for calling me a historian. I'm a food historian. Gauri ma'am knows it because I've done some work with her as well. And we are driven by this absolute concept, Anna Hai Purna Brahma. At the epicenter, Genesis is food. Everything is food. And you have to connect to it. And therefore, ancient Vedic practices. Today, we are coming back to millets. We are coming back to recipes and details which our grandparents gave us and which were forgotten. And many branded, junk food is junked. Now it is thrown in the, dustbin. And therefore, we go ahead with this whole concept where I would like to help our audience and participants to understand how correctly RTG food drives your mood. And you have to be on top of it with the happiness hormones dose, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin. In all of us just now, they're very high. We're very happy here. And that is what has to be for more number of people. Someone has to teach them. Someone has to hold their hand, and we have to work it out from there. The next, very simply, I'm going to wind up. I know that the time is short. Grahak Jago. As a consumer, because we are Indians, I'm going to share with you, I have had the opportunity to live abroad, learn abroad, teach abroad. So I know that we are little kind only. Jaane do na, koi baat nahi. We cannot manage to, be non-discerning as consumers. Do you read the package of food that you are buying? Do you look at the ingredients in the package which comes to your home? All this has to be told. And every 15th of March, which is a consumer day, I do these workshops specially for consumers. So I intend to increase the consumer quotient in our country so that we are much, much more sorted out. The next most important thing is, Vasudha ji, you and I, we wish for our students everything. Our paycheck is not our paycheck. It's when your student gets into MIT. Mine has just gotten last week. And I'm so thrilled. I was very thrilled with RTG's daughter going to Stockholm because unka bachcha, hamara bachcha. But more than that, she's from ICT and I'm on the advisory board of ICT. And therefore, it's almost like my student going there. So when you want to wish for your students, you have to think of them as entrepreneurs. All of us are into entrepreneurship development. Madam Anjali Srivastav is very much in the forefront. But in that, how to make yourself a good boss. You took your vice principal out for dinner because it was her birthday. Okay, it didn't happen, but the wish was there. She'll always remember कि मैडम को याद था मेरी सालगिरह की वजह से हम बाहर जा रहे थे. So food is enmeshed everywhere. You see, we are on a batting wicket. We are everywhere. So there's no full mind without a full stomach, and the stomach has to be full with all the right kind of 45 nutrients. So these are some of the areas which I am going to do. Like I was talking when we began the little family meeting before this concept, for the participants, I want to say that some of our workshops and events are going to be more than one. Vasudha ji and I would be together. Milind sir and I would be together. Milind sir and Aarti ji would be together. So we are here driven by an ethos of making India Atmanirbhar through, Buddhi Vitaran and Buddhi gaining also, both the ways. So this is my little wish. Thank you for giving me time, and I'm always happy to participate in everything. Milind sir and I go back a long way, and Vasudha ji and I also now go back a long way. Time is not measured in minutes and hours, it's the quality rather than the quantity. So thank you so much. And I continue to be on the platform encouraging other people.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes. I always believe that few relationships we don't need to have spending a lot of time in chronological years and things. We just click with some people and we do. Yes. So now next on my screen is Ms. Anjali Srivastav, and she is a life coach, biohacker, counselor, 20, but before that, 21 years of experience in corporate app development, research, R&D, then certifications from in NLP, TAEI, and landmark curriculum. And I know few friends, who follow this landmark curriculum. And again, I strongly feel it is about what we learn and when we implement it in our lives. So there have been a couple of friends who have implemented the learnings of landmark curriculum, and I have seen a lot of change in them. But there are some who have been just, they have grasped it and have not been implemented in their lives. And jokingly, I always say that, when you want to check the change in the person, so you must ask the spouses or the immediate family members, because they notice the changes. We don't notice the change in ourselves. So over to you, Ms. Anjali. I would like to know about your journey. How is the journey from being an app developer to the relationship coach, counselor, and how has that been? And what are your plans? How will you contribute to our Learn in India initiative?
Thank you, Vasudha ji. I feel blessed to be a part of this cohort. Good morning, everybody. About me, well, I've got 21 years of progressive experience, augmented with exposure to range of industries spanning across different geographies. I've worked in different capacities in R&D, in admin and HR, and also in operations. My second home is Nigeria. I've spent a decade of my life in Nigeria taking care of operations in VFS Global. A lot of my learning started when I started believing in the Almighty, and my faith was reinstated in the Almighty in Nigeria. I'm happy to come back to India, and I found myself at the other end of the polarity. My life took a very bad turn in 2012. I hit the rock bottom and I came up like a phoenix. And that is where I started believing and talking of the benevolent universe and of law of attraction. This is what brought me into this world of coaching, into this world of counseling and mentoring. Whatever I have undergone in life, I want to leverage all the experience and bring immense value to the people around me. When pandemic hit us in 2020, we all got trapped inside our homes and the world outside became a VUCA world. They say there is an opportunity in every adversity and it should be leveraged at that. Globally, the world came to a standstill and every individual mind was in turbulence. I took a call at that time and I even listened to my higher calling. I couldn't step outside, but I stepped into my inner world. I found Anjali waiting for her own attention. How much do we starve ourselves and how much do we ignore ourselves is something I learned when I entered into my little space. I'm master's in environmental science, a university topper. I've done my MBA HR from XLRI and I'm ICF PCC in the making. A certified NLP practitioner, a corporate trainer and a facilitator. A transactional analyst, as Nam has already told me, I'm a landmark graduate and I owe it to them for a lot of my breakthroughs. I'm a Reiki healer. Yes, I needed healing at one point in time. And I'm also an access bar facilitator. Presently, I work as the head of operations at Mastermind Life, one of the premium ICF ACTT institutes of India. I can only say, I invite people to find the Yoda in them. This Yoda awakens them to new possibilities, straightens their path, and also is a miraculous thread. From breakdowns to breakthroughs, from compulsiveness to consciousness, from delusions to dreams, from fallacy to factuality. This is the delta we need to bridge in our life. And I want to be an ally and a coach in the journey of people. This is where I want to pitch in, where this forum is concerned. Life is also a DIY project, and we have to keep actualizing our potential. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. I always feel that people do not need to be saved or rescued. People need knowledge of their own power and how to access it. And I want to be a messenger of this wake up call. I also believe that the greatest challenge one can ever have is to have a territory of their own mind. I believe we all have the power to upgrade our experience of the world, and we have the same power to downgrade it. And that too is your mind. If you believe that something outside has got to change in your life, you also have to understand that there is something that has to change inside. This is where Anjali wants to play. Ma'am, thank you so much for this opportunity. And I've already explained to you that I work on the mindset, I work on the biohacking. If I need to explain to all of you about biohacking, it is a do it yourself biology. It involves small, very incremental lifestyle changes to make improvement in your health, in your well being. It promises and encompasses anything from weight loss to enhanced brain function. This is where Anjali wants to play in the forum. Happy to be a part of this forum and with all the stalwarts here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Anjali ji, so much. And I think each one of us go through that phase that you went through in 2012. And sometimes it's recurrent for most of us, or sometimes it's a once in a, you know, a decade, once in a lifetime. And how we get out of that, that makes all the difference. Taking on to further, as on my screen, so I would like to now invite the adorable youngest member of the group. Everyone is calling her. So Saili is talking about Saili. She is the founder of findingback.com, certified purpose coach, parent educator. And the best is that she is working with women who want to come back in their lives. Maybe those are the single women who are struggling. Maybe those are the women who want to start their career journey again. And or maybe the women who want to create their own identity. So over to you, Saili, to introduce yourselves. And with your achievements, it doesn't seem like that you are youngest in the group. So over to you, dear.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And thank you, Anjali, for helping me to start today. As you said, you have gone through ups and downs, and same way, I have also gone through ups and downs. And at one point of time, the person who was working in a corporate as an HR manager for 12 years, a very ambitious person and very enthusiastic person, has been a very quiet and a lost person having an identity crisis. And that's how the finding back has been born. The finding back helps the woman to find back the rhythm of their life. Finding back helps women who wants to restart their career, who are single working mothers, and who wants to bounce back in life and create their own identity. Coming from a psychology background, I feel that, I speak to a lot of women when they have a lot of issues in their personal life, professional life, relationship issues, parenting issues, and identity crisis. I feel somewhere we women are actually not taking charge of our life. And as I have gone through some crises, I it took really a good time of me to come out of it. And that's how I felt that, I found my purpose. When I wanted to bounce back in life, I thought, okay, let me pursue my further studies, and I really need a coach in life who can help me to come out of it. I know a lot of things, but I am not able to come out. So we require sometimes a guru, you can say, a coach or mentor in your life. And I did my purpose coaching. I am a certified purpose coach. I have done my parenting courses from UK, London, and counseling courses from UK. At present, I am doing my master's in clinical psychology, keeping in mind that it will really help me to understand my audience better. Okay, I help women to overcome their stress, anxiety, their self limiting beliefs, and reclaim their physical and emotional health. so that they can flourish in all other areas of their life. So that is my core of what I am, dealing with my clients. As a parent educator, I help parents and children to have a smooth, strong bond with each other and enjoy the parenting journey rather than just being so much stressful about it that we find like nowadays there is so many parenting issues are there. In fact, during pandemic also we have noticed that children were suffering a lot, and since both the parents are working from home and having lot of add-on responsibilities, it's everything has been shattered. And in my parenting coaching, I help parents and children to understand each other and to have a strong bond and enjoy the journey. I help children with the behavioral issues, the learning issues, and the emotional problems. So, this is what I have been doing as a parent educator. And I strongly believe one thing through my experiences that we all have a tremendous potential within us, but sometimes it requires that extra push. We have been speaking a lot, we also know that there are certain ways we can come out, but we are not consistently following those. We are not giving that time to ourselves to understand what is my core values and what is the purpose of my life. If I'm at this level, how can I reach to this level in my life, be it professional, be it personal, or any relationships. And that is I'm doing, giving that extra push and helping people to find out their purpose, find out their potential, and live the life optimally, because it's a one life. And we all are here not just to survive, but to thrive. So that is my mantra, that, and I'm helping people to live their best by helping them their personal development and self transformation to live the life optimally, not just survive but thrive in life. So I'm thank you, and I'm blessed to have so many wonderful people and experienced people in the team. And thank you, Milind sir and Jyoti ma'am, for taking me into your team. And I know what best I can give in the our Learn India is helping people to reclaim their emotional and mental health and achieve their full potential so they can enjoy and have a successful life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saili, and amazing thing. So I had Milind knows about it. So I had written a book called Gratitude: The Purpose of Life, and in that there is a special mention that everyone. I mean, I included the men also, but all the human beings. For the and if we talk about the women, especially what you are saying, so first 20 years of their lives, they live according to the wishes of their parents. Then 20, 22, 23, whatever time they get married. And then next 20 years are devoted to the family, husband. And then the middle life crisis starts when we are, 40 plus, we don't have this thing to do what we have to do. And there is lot of unrest in them, and they feel that oh, we could not do that, we and I don't know why. It has been, they say that okay, women has to be epitome of sacrificing lot, doing thing for the family. It's okay if you do it that way. What is the big deal? Of course it is a big deal, because once we are able to give what we have. So if the woman of the house is happy or emotionally steady, and then only she will be able to take care of everyone's emotional efficacy in the family. And it is also said that the next 20 years they have to live according to the children and what is. So when will they live? So I always I strongly feel that whenever you realize this, that you want to live your life for yourself, your time is now. It starts now. So a great initiative that you are doing. And now I would request Aarti and of course, Aarti, big congratulations to you for your daughter's achievement. And yes, it all begins from home. So yes, you have given those kind of values and those kind of upbringing that she could do so well in her life. And talking about Aarti, she's a relationship coach for almost a decade, internationally accredited emotional intelligence mastery coach, also NLP master practitioner, meditation counselor, clinical psychologist, and author of the book called Emozeal, Saga of Emotional Lockdown. And she also is committed to women's issues and causes, but mostly related to health. So, Aarti, I would like you to talk about your book here. And being a vivid reader, Jyoti ji, or exactly the same. If some robbery happens in my house only, so it would be just books, nothing else. So I have my personal library of few thousand books. My father-in-law had a library of 3 lakh books, and we have restored that. So it's just books for us. So I'm personally very keen to know about your book, Aarti, your journey and your contribution towards this initiative.
Thank you. Good morning, all, and thank you, Vasudha ji, for that wonderful introduction. When Milind sir told me about this initiative, I was really excited because I will like to tell a few things which have not been covered in the introduction. Actually, I started my journey as a corporate trainer. So I was training in the institute. I started from a company called Bayer here in Thane. And then I was a trainer for a couple of years. Then I went into software industry, and I have worked in MNCs for 20 years. And I have handled large teams, and I mentored them through that process. And when I was going, I was at Capgemini. We had Capgemini University, where we used to design courses and actually deliver these courses for team building. And we had started off early for emotional intelligence for teams at that time. So I was really excited to join this journey and to join this group. So thank you all of you for having me here on board. And I'm really privileged to be part of such a senior mentors and team members like you. So talking about my experience, I've been doing this relationship coaching, and a misnomer as it is, when we talk about relationship, a lot of people feel that it is about the couples or people who are having the issues. But I deal with a lot of relationship issues. Of course, I deal with marriage counseling, live-in, and breakup, patch up, rather than breakup, patching up people, and relationship healing, as well as healing the relationship between parent and children, because I think that is more important. And I do a lot of adolescent counseling also. And a lot of times people come to me when there is an exam coming over, and there a lot of exam stress builds up, or sometimes the child steps into addiction. So I do a lot of this thing, de-addiction awareness programs. I had been doing before pandemic. We used to go to a lot of schools and colleges, junior colleges over here, and train students from 9th grade to 12th how not to step into that addiction issues. And that is something I'm really passionate about. I will like to contribute on that area through this forum, because I think that is very important area. Then talking about my book, as a clinical psychologist, I have been helping people to come out of their depression, anxiety, stress related issues. And during pandemic, all of us knows that these issues really topped the charts. And that is how my book Emozeal was born. And we aptly named it, I have co-authored it with a doctor, because we wanted to have both the angles, the psychology angle and the physical angle of it. And it's a saga of emotional lockdown. And what we have done is, there are all real life stories in this book. And it is all the stories where common people having uncommon as you said, Saili, We don't have to really survive, we have to thrive. So how people have take up on their challenges and they have come out of these issues, and how common people have done it. So it is all the psychological stories of the real life people. And it is available worldwide, and already 7,000 more copies have been sold of this. And then we got it translated on public demand in Marathi also, so it's available globally. So my another life mission is Make India Meditate. So I'm a meditation counselor, and I run my courses every month, and hundreds of people have got benefited from it, because I believe that self awareness is the key. What we have a lot of things we have talked about. Children have to be taught these things from the childhood itself. And we feel a lot of people who come for meditation feel that it is for older people, but no, it is actually for the children. And I've seen lot of parents have enrolled their kids. I run special programs for exam stress healing also. So there has been a lot of good responses. So I will also like to contribute on those areas where it is healing through meditation, and it is the self awareness programs. And as you said, I'm my daughter has done wonderful. I'm really grateful to God for that. And I've been rather old school in lot of my ways, and she didn't have a mobile till 11th 12th standard, and I think that has really paid off well. Now I can say that. So really excited to really join this. And as I think some Vasudha ji, you were mentioning about special children. So I have worked with special children for last 7 years. I've volunteered on a lot of programs for that. So let it be CP or autism or Down syndrome or learning disability. And what I've seen is along with their children, their parents have to be trained a lot, because their life challenges are monumental. All of us have life challenges, but they have life challenges where they do not see a light at the end of the tunnel a lot of times. So I definitely want to contribute into that area, where I've done a lot of counseling for. I do regularly do programs for autism children also. So definitely I would like to contribute on those areas. So really excited, and I think we have a long way to go. So all the best to all of us. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you so much. And yes, everybody will be contributing in their own manner, and we are so glad that there are some commonalities. But yes, it is a very diverse group also. Wherein, you know, being if I talk about myself, I had shared with Milind. So wherein it is about, you know, educating the students to make the right career choices from when, and you know, when it should start, or parental counseling, or when you talk about being positive in all situations, you know, being Anjali spoke about the law of attraction and manifestation, and that was my book about, you know, gratitude, the purpose of life, with the 21-day exercises. So all these things, you know, I think that we have a lot to offer. And as Jyoti ma'am also rightly said, that of course we can do it individually, do it in groups, and do it together, co-host the things, and it has to be, it will be a beautiful journey. So always there is a, okay, now I'm going to introduce someone very special to Milind, and now to all of us also. So I will not say that, you know, I will not say the cliche quote that behind every successful man it is a woman, or behind every successful woman it is a man. I strongly feel it is a teamwork. It is so. So we have a beautiful powerhouse couple, Milind and Gauri. So Gauri, now I would want you to talk about yourself. We have heard a lot about you, and how will you be able to contribute to this great initiative of your best half. And I know that you are already helping him a lot in the nitty-gritties of the logistics of the things. Over to you.
Thank you, Vasudha, for inviting me into your fold. I'm very honored, and I've been listening to this since morning. And we have a very rich and diverse group over here. As far as my contribution is concerned, I can just give you a background, and then probably you could tell me how I will be able to help in this initiative. So this 15th of July marks 37 years of my working experience.
Wow.
And I started with my background in hospitality, straight gotten through a campus interview, worked at the Taj. And after a few years, I got married, which took me out of Mumbai. And because of Milan's transfers, we were moving around. And at one point of time where I happened to be called for an interview for a teacher's job. I had never taught before. I was a hotel operations person, and teaching was the last thing on my mind because I had never thought myself to be a teacher material kind of person. Didn't have the patience for it. But they said, no, we do not have anyone. We've just opened the Hotel Management Institute and there is no faculty, so you have to come. And the hotel that we were staying in before we got our house, it was a family-run property. And the lady said, my daughter's taken admission and she has no teacher. Please go and teach now, whatever you know. So, and I had nothing else to do. No other five-star in that place. So there was no going and working in a hotel. So I thought, let me give teaching a try. And I walked into a classroom of 16 girls, and I realized that this is what I was meant for. And that is the day I understood why it is called a calling, why teaching is called a calling. It calls you, you can't go to it, it has to come to you. वो बुलावा आता है ना, माता का बुलावा आता है, वैसे मेरे लिए teaching का बुलावा आ गया. And that was in 1990. I actually formally left teaching in 2008. So after that, I taught in various institutes, hotel management institutes. And while I was in one of the institutes in Mumbai, we started taking outsourced training for the hospitality industry for standalone properties. The big hotels have their own trainers, but smaller restaurants and messes don't have anybody to train their staff on a lot of practices which are mandatory in the food industry, like food hygiene and sanitation and so on and so forth. Yes, Jude, it does call to you, correct. And that is what we used to do during the holidays. The institute used to take trainings. And that is how my transition from teaching to training was a very natural progression. And it had an advantage over teaching that there was no paper correction of papers written in bad handwriting, and there was no invigilation.
Yes, supervision.
So, yes, so that is what happened. And as we started training, we started getting a lot of corporate requests, like, on communication, body language, like, आप जैसे होटल में सिखाते हो वैसे हमारे लोगों को सिखाना, kind of a thing. So it started with the very basic soft skills. And then I realized that I needed to know more about this. At that point of time, training was an upcoming industry. It is still not taken complete shape, but it has progressed a lot in these 20 years that I have been into training. And then I got certified on extended DISC. So extended DISC is one of the top 3 global psychometric assessment tools. And I'm a very proud practitioner of that tool. That gave me an insight into how people behave and why they behave the way they do. So a lot of my answers calmed down since, and a lot of things which used to bother me earlier don't bother me now, because then I start spotting people, ye personality type hai to hoga, kind of a thing. That is one huge advantage that I have when I take my soft skills training. So I teach from shop floor to top floor across verticals, with hospitality, of course, because that is my background, but into manufacturing, education, retail, corporate, and so on and so forth. During the pandemic, I also got certified on entrepreneurial skill development. by the Singapore Polytechnic. It is the entire process that one goes through, right from an incubation of an idea, and this is especially for students. A lot of colleges today have e-cells, entrepreneurship cells, whereby students have some fantastic ideas, and they have an idea, but they don't know how to take it to fruition. So this entire process is what I got certified on, and I recently conducted one entrepreneurship session for a batch of food technology processing students, which brought about my love for food manufacturing and teaching together. And women oriented, because I'm also on the women's committee of the Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture. I'm on the governing council, so I'm a pretty active member there. And as a passion, and that is where I kind of identify with Jyoti ji, is about food. I write a blog called Khadya Varsa. Khadya is food and Varsa is heritage. And in this onslaught of foreign foods and junk food, we are losing our traditional recipes. So since the pandemic, I've been writing a blog on all the lost recipes of the traditional foods. And this, I realized that when we were staying in the north, a lot of people didn't know about Marathi food. They thought Marathi food was limited to vada pav, pohe, and mutton kolhapuri. And the richness of it is not known to people. So my blog is written in English and not in Marathi, and that is to create an awareness. Other passion is writing columns. I've been a columnist for Lok Satta, writing columns on soft skills for young students. So this is what I do. If I can help in any way, I'll be more than happy to.
Thank you so much. Of course, we will involve you in many other things, and it will be a great working together. So from the speaker side, I think we all have done our bit. Now I request Jyoti ji to take it further, and she will only encourage the audience if they want to ask any questions or share anything. So yes, over to you, Jyoti ji.
Thank you, Vasudha ji, for very ably moving from one end of the rainbow to the other. And what do we say? At the end of every rainbow, there's a pot of gold, and now that's what we are looking for. So I think Dipesh ji has raised his hand. Would you like to please ask the question you had in mind, Dipesh ji? Lovely to have you here, please. You need to unmute your mic and ask the question.
Yeah, so in fact, I don't have a question as of now. And the only thing is that I would like to introduce myself also, because I'm a very new entrant into this group. And I was, sent a link by my friend who is into food industry, and he is in Dubai, Avra. And, I asked him, what is this group all about? The only thing he said that it is going to be fun. Now, because I am into education industry as of now, but yes, I am also the youngest member here. Every 2 years I add one, so I am 25 now. And yeah, so I was resonating well with most of the members here, because over the period of last 30 years, my experience have been very diverse. From pharmaceutical to food to satellites, and then designing the interior stores for Big Bazaar, Pantaloons and all, and education also, and I have been a serial entrepreneur, indulging into many products. And I would like to share my first failure. When I was in college, it was in 1992. So I come from UP, although now I am in Gurgaon, but I am a UPI. And that time there was a big problem of electricity in UP. Every now and then we used to have electricity cut. So I created a emergency light. That was a tube light which could be run on battery, which battery was charged during the day whenever the electricity was there. So now, because I am more of a innovator and a experimentalist, I would say. So I attached a clap switch You clap and that emergency light went on. And that was a huge success. Everyone was, so much happy with that product that they did not have to find that emergency light where it is in the house. They only simply had to clap and then it went on. So it was a very innovative product. And I, embedded a FM radio also. So it was a home product for everyone. So one day, one guy came back with that emergency light, and that guy said that this doesn't work when needed. रात को जब हम इसमें ताली बजाते हैं ना, तो वो काम नहीं करती है. And I checked it, kept it at my place for 3 days, and it was working fine, and sent it back. नहीं बिल्कुल ठीक काम कर रही है. फिर 3 days back, 3 days after 3 days it again came back. वो बोलता नहीं ये फिर काम नहीं करती है. You know what was happening? He had a dog in his house, and whenever the dog barked, वो light on हो जाती थी daytime में. It was actually a sound activated switch. Clap तो हम बोलते थे, and वो दिन में on हो जाती थी और पूरा दिन में वो on रहती थी. दिन में उनको पता ही लगता था कि emergency light on है, and then during the night when they needed it was not working. So that was one funny failure which happened. So this is all about me, and now as of now, I am into training. मुझे एक चीज समझ में आती है कि हमारे यहाँ ना जो लोग जॉब करते हैं तो वो जॉब के साथ रिस्पेक्ट जॉब को नहीं देते हैं. हमारे यहाँ मोची बोला जाता है, इटली में लेदर टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट होता है. So glamour is added there, and that is one reason that most of the people they avoid such kind of job. वो मोची की जॉब करना कोई पसंद नहीं करता है. लेदर टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट बन जाएंगे. It is one and the same thing. So likewise, I am trying to embed this in the minds of people that once you start adding glamour to any kind of job, you would be, more than happy to do it. And once you are happy doing it, then you will become an innovator. You start innovating, you start thinking, and then अगर आपके पास entrepreneurial skills develop हो गए तो then you would be making brands then, और वो Indian brands होंगे. So learn in India and make in India obviously go together. This is one thing. Abhi I am handholding a school. Now this school is, in the satellite towns of Gurgaon. तो उस स्कूल में एक बहुत बड़ा conflict है. That conflict is that half of the students are from the rural areas around that town, and half of the students are from the जो अभी वहाँ पर condominiums develop हो रहे हैं, multi-story apartment develop हो रहे हैं, तो cosmopolitan crowd है. Now I am trying to create a synchronized kind of atmosphere when these two kind of students actually gel together. अभी वो जो रूरल बैकग्राउंड वाले हैं ना, वो दे आर एट लॉस. उनको लगता है कि ये तो बड़े अच्छे स्पोकन इंग्लिश वाले बच्चे आ गए हैं, एंड वी आर तो वो एक उनके अंदर सेंस डेवलप हो रहा है. आई एम ट्राइंग टू, तो ये सब आई एम ट्राइंग टू डू. एंड ऑब्वियसली मेरा स्पोकन स्किल लोगों को बड़ा अच्छा लगता है, तो लोग मेरे को ट्रेनिंग के लिए बुलाते हैं.
Great.
And apart from that, my passion is I am a handwriting analyst.
Okay,
I'm a graphologist and a graphotherapist. तो मैं handwriting change करा के personality में भी changes करा पाता हूँ लोगों के. And उसके अलावा I have worked a lot on alternate therapies. Music therapy के ऊपर मैंने काम किया. I brought a American company into India where we were into biometrics also, and we were into alternate therapy. So obviously मुझे लगता है कि
Dipesh ji to
see over the period of time we will get to know more. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Any more questions coming up? And to Dipesh ji, I want to say हमने तो ताली कब की बजा दी. So we are connected. और यहाँ हमारे जो पेट कुत्ते हैं वो तो बाहर है, तो वो मसला होने वाला नहीं है. Don't worry, please. So, Milind sir, any more questions? Otherwise, we can, make the concluding remarks. Would you like to say something, or may we make the concluding remarks?
Yeah. See, in any case, I'm hardly going to speak for a minute or two. Firstly, I see some people here. I see Suchita, I see Rizwana, and I see Jude, I see Sanjay Kumar Jain. Any of them, if they would like to ask any questions to any of our speakers, please feel more than welcome. And
only a request that let it be a bit brief, because then there is a
Yeah, so,
concept.
yeah.
Can I speak, Milan?
Yeah,
Jude,
sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so this Learn in India is basically like a platform to innovate, like be with you people. So you guys will help us to take that. What is
Mr. Jude, your voice is a bit challenged. Could you help out, please?
Okay.
It's breaking, so we cannot really hear you.
You and talk. That will get
now
bandwidth, you know.
much better?
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it
so
is.
Learn in India, I was just happy to know Dipesh is something to do with music therapy. That's my passion for a long time, and for 10 years I've been with special students. So let's see how I can get connected, and I've done a lot of webinars, but let's see. So Learn in India is something where we could just be together and grow. Is that
That is the
platform?
whole idea. That is the
Okay,
whole
great.
idea.
So
And
I'm really
more the merrier. The music
Yeah,
is
I'm
better with an orchestra. So more the merrier. That is
I'm
so
really
wonderful.
happy with all you people who have. I don't want to take names, but you guys really drive the whole session. It was a real learning experience, and really encouraged to be.
We are happy to have you, and you invested the best part of life, your time this morning, Mr. Jude. So thank you so much for that. Please.
So thanks everybody for attending the show. As Jyoti has said, time is the most precious thing. So a big thank you to all of you, and it was really very nice having you all over. And we will definitely keep you posted about developments in future. There'll be a lot of developments. So I'd just like our team to stay back for 5 minutes, and the rest of y'all can carry on. Thank you very much for being a part of the show.
I have
Thank
a
you, Milan
request.
sir. And
I
yeah,
I
Aarti
have
ji,
a
you want to say
request that everyone who has joined can share their LinkedIn profiles, the links, so that we can connect.
Okay, sure.
We draw to a close of this amazing curtain raiser. The curtain was of velvet, but what was inside is even better. Lots of music, lots of melody, and everything for just one aspect on this planet, and that's people and values. So I personally thank each and everyone. Wonderfully, conceptualized by Milan sir, driven by all of you, Vasudha ma'am, moderating everything, and each one giving it a first person touch. That is our USP. We have taken the path of the supermarket called life, not randomly, but by destiny, and we have reached till here. We have connected to each other. So I'm sure that we all are going to keep on connecting to each other. There were troughs, like Anjali ji said, and then we rose to crests, and that's where we are. So I think we formally close the meeting, and we all are connected to each other. So now we can move it really further. Anjali, Aarti ji, boli, please.
I just want to express my gratitude to Milan sir for organizing this, and wonderfully moderated by Vasudha ma'am and you, Jyoti ma'am. So really, it was a great session. So thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. Anjali ji, Saili, Madam Vasudha, all of you. Milan sir is our own. So thank you very much. And Gauri ma'am also. So that is so wonderful. And we take it from there. Some LinkedIn profiles have come in. So I think we can coordinate, because this is all based on only one resource, human resource. The more people we connect, the better we are. And there's a lot of room on the top for everyone. So we will take the team larger and larger and take it from there. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So
Yeah, Milan sir.
yeah, so
Having Gauri ma'am was really nice. Thank
Yes,
you,
that
ma'am.
was the scoop on the Varan Bhat. I'm not saying cherry on the ice cream. She
Soul food.
understood. She understood.
You want to switch off the recording bit, right?
Hmm.
Now switch off. Stop recording.